Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is American nomad Brett Pastore. Hello, Brett. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. And we talked about 8 weeks ago. It was a few weeks before your last fight on Fury, fight against Mansurov. And if you can tell me, after a few weeks after the time to analyze the fight, what in your opinion you could do better to win this fight?
Yeah. I I threw a kick and I kept my head right here, right in the center line as I threw this kick. He caught me with a punch. I didn't move my head enough, and he really, really badly hurt me in the early in the first round. And I was pretty confused the entire fight. Um, I was like, okay, I gotta hang on. I gotta, remember where I am. I was really out of it. I was fighting on autopilot for the entire fight. I'd never recovered. So people are asking, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? I'm like, I wasn't there. I wasn't fully, I made a bad mistake. He caught me with a really good punch. I didn't get knocked out, but I kept fighting and I was on autopilot. So yeah, my mistake.
But also I think that of course he's right now not super experienced as far as the MMA, but I think that overall he's like really talented fighter, and in maybe if, 2 or 3 years he can be like a UFC fighter. So in the end, I think that it was like another tough challenge. Right now, maybe not super known fighter, but in like a few years, he, in my opinion, will be.
He probably will. I hope he does. He's a nice guy. I'll root for him. But that's the end of my road in America here. I won't fight in the United States again. I've had a good career in Asia, so I'm gonna go back there and keep building my name out there. And yeah, after that fight, I fought a few days later in Combat Sambo. My chin wasn't fully recovered. I won 3 fights in a row, and then I lost in the finals because I got hit in the same area and opened up a cut. Can't really see it as much now. It's still there in the nose. The doctor said to stop it because it kept bleeding. Had to get stitches. So I got second place in that. I was really, really disappointed in that. So yeah, after that, I decided, it's time to move on. It's time to go back to living in Thailand. I'm trying to organize right now a training camp in Dagestan, Russia, working on my Russian visa. But yeah, looking to take my life back over there, where I can have more success.
And before last fight, you had this kind of UFC dream. You wanted to be in the UFC. But for now, do you think that overall that this kind of thing is done, or maybe when you win like maybe two, maybe three more fights, you still will be like on the like UFC will be on your mind?
I could, but realistically, I can't afford to do 3 more fights in America. A lot of people don't know we make absolutely zero money fighting in America. Like I'm taking money out of my retirement to pay for pay for training camps. Um, with this promotion that I just fought in, I had to pay for my coaches to fly in, and then I can't afford my own flight, so I drive 15 hours from Albuquerque to Houston to fight. I can't do it anymore. I did it twice, fought two undefeated guys. I'm supposed to do this 4 fight contract, but I'm asking them to just release me. I can't afford to fight for them anymore. But over in Asia, I can get more fights, and the cost of living is cheaper. I can afford to make it as a fighter out there. So yeah, it just comes down to the money. That's it.
But probably also in Asia it would be maybe easier for you to get a fight because you are quite known, let's say, because you fought before in one, you train in Tiger Muay Thai, so in the end you probably got this kind of connections that can help you to get a fight.
I'd love to make it back to one championship, and I've had a few offers to fight in big Lethway fights again. So we've been talking about that. I've also been talking to some promoters about fighting in certain places in Japan. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, and I already have a name. I've already had success there, and yeah, this is just a bump in the road. Um, I tried to make my identity about this next goal, get into the UFC, but I'm not gonna just, you know, not gonna just go for something that's not there. That's costing me so much money, and it just isn't working out. That's fine. I'm gonna have a great career in Asia. That one championship belt looks pretty good to me. That Ryzen championship belt looks pretty good to me. Um, but I'm not gonna make my identity or my self-worth about accomplishments or about wins and losses, because there's more to life than that. Um, like when a little kid um doesn't get to wear his red t-shirt instead of his blue t-shirt. He gets really mad and he's so angry. I want to wear the red t-shirt. He's so angry. But you look back at that as an adult, you're like, wow, it's so stupid. Like who cares about that sort of thing? I believe that hopefully when I'm way older, I look back and I'm like, oh, who cares about the stupid things like money or where I live, or these are just material possessions. These are just, you can't identify yourself with some accomplishment. You can look back on that and say, you know what, I can be more mature now. I can't wrap my whole life about this win or this loss or this amount of money. Um, you got to be more detached from those things, and as you grow older, you learn to be more detached. And I'm okay with whatever happens.
And also, I think that the like your next chapter of your career, so fighting in Asia, also looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. So it's not that your career is done. You just like changed your priorities a little bit.
hmm I'm gonna accept whatever comes my way, and I I feel confident in whatever happens. I'm okay if I die tomorrow. I'm totally okay. I've had a great life, but I think there's a lot more I can accomplish. I'm not going to retire yet. I know I can do so much more out there. I do think I ran into some really tough guys and I got unlucky, and probably I don't want to blame anyone, but I don't think I was managed very well. I don't think I took any smart fights. I fought the very best people very early on in my career. Um, the people who beat me, you were going to see dominating in the UFC. Nazim Sodikov beat me in the amateurs. He just had fight of the night in UFC Baku. Kulin Salkhild, he just won his last two UFC fights. I fought all these guys early in my career, so I know I'm one of the best lightweights in the world. I used to say I'm the best lightweight in the world, but I guess I'm not. But I'm still going to work my way up. I'm still getting better every single day, and feel great about where I'm at.
And just a few days after your fight, you fought in you traveled to Ecuador and you competed in a Combat Sambo Pan American Championship. And at that point, and in this kind of few days between one and the second
Mhm.
challenge, what your mindset looked like? How did you feel? And this is the like loss in Fury like. Give you additional motivation to be successful in the in this combat sambo championship.
Additional motivation, not at all. I'm going to perform to the best of my abilities, regardless of whatever the circumstances are. Um, for Team USA, I wanted to do the Pan American Championships regardless, and it happened that the UFC Fight Pass, the Fury fight, was right before it. So I did a full training camp focusing on that fight for Fury, and just so happened that a few days later, I had to fly right from Houston over to Ecuador. Um, and yeah, that was a fun experience. Other than a mistake I made in the finals and a little bit of damage I still have in that same spot. Um, but now I'm talking to Team USA about whether I'm going to drop down a weight class for the World Championships. I think I could still be the first American to win a World Championship in Combat Sambo. Um, or if there's maybe I'll do a left way fight instead, or another Muay Thai fight later this year when I'm in Asia. We'll see what happens.
So the world championship is in November, right?
Yes, it's always in November. It's usually the weekend of Veterans Day. It's like the second week of November. This year it's again in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, which I fought in before. So if flights are affordable, if I'm in the area, if I'm in a nearby country, I will go there. Potentially, I will be in Nepal. I'm talking to some teams right now that want to get me over there as a coach in Kathmandu, Nepal. That's not confirmed yet, but it's something that might potentially happen. Obviously, I have my team in Phuket, Thailand, Tiger Muay Thai. We're still talking to them about when I'm going to return. And yeah, like I said, I'm working on my visa, really trying to do a camp with in Mahatchkala, Dagestan, with Khabib Nurmagomedov's team, and really up my game over there.
So it's kind of crazy because the I believe that in Nepal the MMA scene is not really developed. So you can be the guy with the knowledge, with experience, who allow the fighters from the region to be really good MMA fighters and to improve level of MMA in this country.
Exactly. That's what they've been talking to me about. I was supposed to do it last year. They were supposed to bring me in for a fight, and then it fell through, and then they were working on a replacement. But then I got another offer for a fight in Russia, and the Russians were going to fly me back to America. So I went with that. But yeah, still talking to Nepal. Maybe I'll be there or Thailand or Dagestan. There's a lot of open doors, and the U.S. door has closed for me. I'm not going to make it here. Just the fights pay absolutely no money. I have to work my way up, winning a whole lot of pro fights for absolutely zero money. I just can't afford it anymore. I'm living in the gym at Jackson Wink. I can't keep, it's hard to work a lot of hours when I'm training 3 times a day. So I try to work 14-hour days on the weekends, but I'm just not able to save up enough money. So yeah, I had to part ways with Jackson Wink. I have nothing but love for them. They're a great team. But yeah, couldn't afford to live there making nothing on fights. So said goodbye to them. Drove across the country. Right now I'm in Pennsylvania on my way to New York where I can see my parents, again, give them my car and fly out to most likely to Dagestan. Still got to book my flight. See how that's all going to work with my visa and with the political situation over there.
So this like driving between the states to your parents, it's like the a little bit saying goodbye to the country, right? Because even like left when you leave the car, it's like maybe not there is no chance that you will be back, but in the end, it's like start of the new chapter, really.
Yeah, it's like my goodbye tour to America. I'm driving through every state, and yeah, I might be in Asia for just the rest of my life. I might be out there forever. So that's the reality. But I'm okay with whatever happens. I'm not too attached to any result. I'm learning to be detached and just accept whatever comes. If I live the rest of my life in Asia, great. Maybe I come back here for some reason. I did hear that Lethway, the sport I do, the bare knuckle Burmese sport, was bought by BKFC, and they want to start doing fights in America. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's very interesting. That might bring me back here. Who knows? I just got to go with the flow, accept whatever happens.
And one question about Sambo, because like training MMA or BJJ is, I believe, quite easy because there are a lot of gyms, a lot of teams that you can train with and in. But about Sambo in the United States, is it like a popular sport or how overall do you train for this kind of big tournaments?
It's absolutely not a popular sport, and there is zero sambo training. I when I train for a sambo fight, what I do is I do an MMA fight shortly before my sambo tournaments. I do a full training camp for MMA, um, and then the occasional judo class. But because judo, it's basically judo mixed with MMA. Um, like for Pan Am's, I did zero sambo training. I was not training for that at all. I was just focused on the MMA fight with Umran Mansurov. As soon as that fight was over, I just threw on the Kurtka. And yeah, so I just do full MMA training, especially when I'm at Jackson Link. It's an MMA gym. We do nothing but MMA. We don't even do jujitsu. Like, if we're grappling, we have the gloves on. There's ground and pound. We're adding in the strikes. Everything is MMA specific over there, which obviously makes sense. So yeah, I do these sambo tournaments just training MMA.
And about your training camp or like overall training in Dagestan, in your like head, how many weeks do you plan to stay there?
I think reasonably I can get a 90-day visa. I know as the meme send to Dagestan 2, 3 years and forget. I don't think I can actually get a 2 or 3 year visa, or any American can. If I could, I would. But I'm hoping for a 90-day, and it all comes down to the visa and immigration if I can get in. I know it's a very complicated process. I had to go to last time I fought in Russia. I had to go to the embassy in Thailand about 5 different times. There was all this paperwork and all this confusion. So I'm anticipating some challenges with this upcoming trip, but we'll see what happens.
And right now, you, of course, you are busy with your career. A lot of things is happening in your life. But do you still have a chance to watch, like especially big UFC cards?
Yeah, I just watched actually yesterday. I watched my teammate Steve Garcia get a phenomenal win. Now he's a top 11 at featherweight. He's someone who's always doing the right things, and like you could see the Jackson Wink style, the stuff the coaches are teaching. He demonstrates it so well. In that fight, that was awesome. And I just watched one season of The Ultimate Fighter. I looked at the season that my teammate Daniil Donchenko was in, and he looked awesome. He's one of my good training partners out there in Tiger. We both did the Tiger tryouts together. So I just saw him win, and still always rooting for the Jackson Wink guys. Um, yeah, I watch every single one Friday fights every Friday. I'm always studying potential future opponents and seeing what they're doing. So yeah.
And do you have maybe one fighter or even few fighters from the UFC or even another organization that you know when they are fighting, you definitely needs to you need to tune in because you can like learn something from this fighter's style?
No one and everyone. I'll never have a favorite fighter. I'll never be a fan of a fighter because we're all just people. We're all just human beings. Belongs on a pedestal. Nobody's special. But from every single person, I can learn something. Every single person has something to teach me. So I try to watch as many fights as possible. Everyone has some bit of knowledge that I don't have, and everyone has some ability or some different way of doing something than I do. You can learn something from everyone, but you should absolutely never put anyone on a pedestal. Everyone is a human being, and there's no such thing as a perfect fight. I've never seen a fighter have a perfect fight. You can always make it better. It's an art, not a science. There's always a something that you could do a little bit better, and it's an art that will never be perfected.
Yes, and even the like grades, the goats of MMA, they have these fights that they are like barely winning or sometimes they are losing. So it's definitely not it's not possible to be great and in every second of the fight.
In my opinion, nobody has ever gone undefeated. Um, I've seen undefeated fighters, famous ones, lose and get decisions maybe they shouldn't have gotten. But I respect everyone, and I think everyone is beatable. Um, so yeah. Nobody can have a perfect fight. It's an imperfect sport. So yeah.
And about your beginnings in the overall combat sports, how old were you when you thought that this like this kind of life, this kind of career will be for you? And at that moment when you decided, did you think that you will be have this kind of nomadic lifestyle that you will move from different countries or like let's say places?
Nomadic lifestyle I never could have predicted or imagined. I always loved learning about different cultures. I always loved it. Um, yeah, I never left the country until I was like mid 20s. I never was outside the US, so couldn't have anticipated that. But the first time I saw UFC on TV, or I think it was the UFC video game, I saw the guys shooting double leg takedowns. I'm like, I've been doing that since second grade. I've always been shooting double leg takedowns. This is, maybe I'll do this cage stuff when I'm older. So after my high school wrestling career, I found the nearest jiu-jitsu school, put on a gi, learned some jiu-jitsu. And then in college, we had a boxing team. So I started getting a boxing match every weekend in addition to college wrestling. And then I just really, it just became a whole life.
But in the end, I think that it's also quite maybe not quite unpopular kind of living, but because it's like usually for the fighter, he's staying in one place, maybe sometimes going to the another gym. But in the end, I think that your career is as unusual, but it also get a lot of like advantages because you can learn from different gyms and even like different kind of sports because you competed like probably in almost everything or like 90% of the sports.
I love learning and I want to go everywhere and see everything and learn everything I can. The world has all this knowledge to offer me, so I'm going to go out to every corner of the world and take it.
And before the fights, do you use some kind of maybe meditation, maybe kind of like breathing exercises to calm your mind?
Always very important to breathe. I should be meditating more. That's a good idea. But Coach Greg Jackson, I've noticed in other fighters like John Jones and with almost everyone, the first thing he says in the corner is not some technical thing. The first thing he says is 3 deep breaths into your stomach, 3 deep breaths. And he'll make sure they take 3 full deep breaths before he starts giving technical advice. It's like making sure guys are slowing down their heart rate before he can give them information. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. Um, I've learned a lot. That's what I do when I'm cornering fighters now. Like 3 deep breaths before I give any kind of feedback. Because yeah, the first time I started cornering pro fighters, I was like, okay, you got to do this, you got to do this. I'm like, there's too much going on. It gets overwhelming. But as I get more experience cornering fighters, remember to slow down. 3 deep breaths. Let's slow down that heart rate. Then let's think about how we're going to uh, win this fight.
Yes, but it's kind of crazy because you reminded me like with the Greg Jackson voice that like even about 10 years ago
Mhm.
he said this kind of things to his fighters. So you are definitely right.
Yeah, 10 years ago hasn't changed. It just makes sense. And we'll just keep building on that.
And outside of like MMA or any other combat sports, do you have anything others that you are really passionate about?
Nope. Fighting is life. For me, it's literally my whole life. Like I love traveling, exploring the world, and eating different foods, but all that comes from fighting. Fighting is at the core. It's like one of the most human, primal natures that we have is to fight. So for me, I've just let that define my whole life. So yeah.
And I hope of course, you are right now will go to the Dagestan. You have this kind of plans to be in different countries in Asia. But I hope that also you maybe will get some fight in like Europe because there are a lot of good promotions here. So I hope that you will get maybe one with contracts with one or few like promotions to show your skills here in like in any country here.
I fought in Turkey once, and yeah, that was it. Oh, Moscow, Russia, I guess you could say is Europe. But yeah, I want to fight in Europe. I'll fight in every promotion in Europe. I'd love to get paid in euros and translate that to Thailand dollars. It goes really far. Um, yeah, I'd be happy to fight in any promotion in Europe. Hmm.
And I have one last question. And actually, in your case, I think that it can be a good question because, like, you never know when you're gonna be in some time. If you can take one thing to the deserted island, which tool or which thing would you like to take with you?
One thing, that's a difficult one because you can't say your phone because there's no service on a deserted island. You can't probably nothing with technology. Um, hmm. Maybe I should be like say something like the Bible. I guess that's important. Probably book. Yeah, that's one I got to think on. That's a really good question. For now I'm gonna go with the Bible, but I feel like there's wait a deserted island. Shouldn't I bring food? Yeah, wouldn't food be the first priority so I don't starve to death?
Yes, yes. There are few ways of thinking because you can think about like few or even many things that can be needed on this kind of island.
Yeah, do I need like a tool to go hunting or fishing? This is an interesting question now that we're really thinking about it. So I'll have
Uh,
to get back to you on that one.
yes, yes, definitely. When we will talk again, we can discuss it one more time.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Brett, so many thanks for the time and for conversation. I hope that your career will go further in Asia, that you will get a few big fights. Maybe you will be coach in Nepal, like everything will
Mhm.
work out for you. But I hope that you will like find your place, maybe in Thailand, maybe somewhere else, but that you will move your career just in a very good direction.
Thank you. I appreciate it.